This is a top 10 video on top 10 creepypastas. If you're afraid of creepypastas and you don't want to get terrified, don't watch the video, and also subscribe for more top 10s, and I hope you enjoy the video. At number 10, we have Slender. Now, Slender is a very popular creepypasta, but it's at number 10 because I don't find it too terrifying. I know it's a faceless man haunting you, but really, when you think about it, it's not too terrifying. Slender is a person who invades pictures and will murder you as soon as you look at him. There is no certain way to know if Slender's going to kill you or not. Just a reminder, stay away from him because he could ruin your life. So if you look at some pictures of Slender, you'll see that he has a lot of public access. He's very, very famous. But if you think about him, he's not too scary, but still very good. There's also the game Slender, the 8 Pages. And yeah, moving on. At number 9, there is Taps. Taps is a very good creepypasta about a child living in his mother and father's house. He's about 13, and his mother's got an illness, as you can see at the picture there. His mother's got an illness, and she's very odd. So what happens is every night he goes to sleep, and he can hear walking in the corridor and knocking on his door and touching on the wall. And he always locks his door at night, except for one night where he woke up and he saw, that at the end of his bed. And she was just looking at him. She didn't do anything. She just looked there. So he hid under the covers. He told his dad, but his dad just said, stop it. So then when he was old enough, he left the house. And he lived quite happily with a wife and children. But every night, he still heard the tapping on the door. Hello? Oh, must be my imagination. At number 8, we have Jeff the Killer. Now, Jeff the Killer was a child. He lived a happy life, but then one day he got into a fight with these kids, and they fought. And when he came back into the house, he looked in the mirror of the bathroom, and he was full of cuts and bruises, and he was damaged. So that night, he got a knife, and he carved a smile in his mouth, like you can see in that picture that was just shown. Then his mother came in and asked what was wrong, but then Jeff said, go to sleep, and stabbed her. Like that. At number 7, we have the Max and Ruby 0004 lost episode. So, this man, I don't know what his name was. Anyway, that doesn't matter. He wanted to get a Christmas present, for his niece. But she was one of those kids who liked Peppa Pig, Thomas, and stuff like that. So, he wanted to get her a Max and Ruby DVD. So, he went to the shop, but there was none left. So, he didn't know what to do. But then one day, there was a DVD posted through his letterbox. And this DVD was in fact a Max and Ruby DVD, but it was like a hand-drawn picture of Max and Ruby with no exactly facial features. Not exactly any facial features on there. But he went with it. He got the DVD. He printed an actual cover for it. And he thought it was like a normal DVD. He replaced all the names at the back of it. All the names were Episode 0001, Episode 0002, Episode 0003, and Episode 0004. Now, these episodes may not have had fantastic names, but it was still a Max and Ruby DVD, because he had looked over it, he had watched it. So, at Christmas, he gave it to his niece for Christmas, and she liked it. But she hadn't watched it until Boxing Day, where he went in the kitchen to work and he put the DVD on. She seemed to enjoy the first 3 episodes, but the fourth one, when the fourth one came on, it was horrifying. The fourth episode started off quite normally. It was just Max and Ruby playing in the back garden, and their mother and father just sitting there. But then her father said, "Oh, well, this is terrible, isn't it?" Or well, something like that. And then it went all dark, and then appeared Max and Ruby on the screen, but it was very like old camera and pixely and stuff like that, and they were just standing there looking, and that lasted for about 3 minutes. Then it went black again, and they were looking at a gravestone saying, "Rip Mummy and Daddy." This was already getting disturbing, but it got even more disturbing. Listen on. What happened then was a series of pictures of Max and Ruby, which we don't have to go into detail too much. You can watch the video to see the full thing, or read the creepypasta. And then this bit is a bit that I don't really want to go into detail too much, because you'll have to watch the video. But let's just say Ruby was looking over a gravestone saying, "Rip Brother." If you want to know how he died, you can watch the video. Then she died, and there was a Rip Sister, and then they could hear, actually, I forgot a bit actually, their mother and father was getting out of their graves, pulling the knives out of their chest, and coming up the stairs. So that's back then, right? So then, when they got up, they were all dead, but then it showed one last scene, saying that exact same scene at the start, except it was saying, "Death is our only release." And then the DVD just ejected out. And that's basically all you really need to know about this one. Moving on. At number 6, we have 1999. Which is a very good creepypasta. It is a very long one as well. And it's about this kid who watches some TV because this Pokemon just come out and he wanted to watch some. But the problem is when he got this new TV, it was really old and had bunny ears and stuff. So he was flipping through the channels and he found Channel 21, which is called Caledon Local. Now, this channel was interesting because there were some TV shows. So, some of the TV shows were, first one was Mr. Bear's Cellar, and the other one was called, the second one was called Booby. So, okay. One of the episodes of Mr. Bear's Cellar was, I can't remember the name, but two kids were going down into the cellar, and they wanted to see Mr. Bear, and they were talking. Mr. Bear and some other people were talking, and they were having fun, and Mr. Bear said to one of the children, "You're not invited," and then chased him up the stairs. And that's not very nice. And then Booby, that TV show, the first episode, well, one of the episodes, it's called Playing with Scissors. Now, this one was an interesting one as well. Playing with Scissors was the main character. They're all hands as well. They're all hands. And they were talking. And one of them had scissors. And the smaller one was talking, like you'd usually talk. So the younger one, the bigger one actually, cut the fingers off of the smaller one. And basically the whole creepypasta is him telling you all the TV shows and other stuff like that. At number 5, and the final one for now, I know it was the top 10, but I changed my mind. Anyway, the final one is called SCP 173. Now this one isn't too long, but let's just say when you look away from this thing, you're going to die. That's really all the explanation you need for this one, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. And just make sure every night your door is locked.